Welcome back to TMZ Live. And we are seeing, for the first time in a long time, just a couple of positive signs in the economy that maybe there's a recovery coming for us in the midst of this pandemic, which is still continuing. And there's also on the horizon, perhaps, a big change to your work week, maybe shortening your work week. Some companies, American companies, are already adopting this, although I don't know to what degree of success. So
and why?
Yeah, and why? So let's bring in our guy who helps us follow the money, and there's a lot of money to follow this one. This is across the whole country. It could affect everyone. So DAYMOND JOHN from Shark Tank, welcome back to TMZ Live, my friend. How you doing?
Hey, DAYMOND.
What's up, guys?
I want to get into this move for this 4-day work week. What's behind that all of a sudden?
You know, it's something that has been done in the past and very successfully in some areas and very poorly in other areas. You know, look at Google and Facebook. They did the 20% of your time you need to spend on what you want to do, and it does not have to be company related. And that's how Gmail was basically invented. So it's been happening, but now with people not having to, travel, to work and things of that nature, and the software that's out and virtual assistants, people are starting to see, and bosses starting to see, they're getting more out of their staff and teams when they have to work less technically, even though the hard workers will still work as much. And they're just getting more value, and they're becoming more competitive too, because if you have to go to work 5 days a week, but you work for me and I have everything the same, but you only have to work 4 days a week, you're coming over to me. So that's exactly what we're seeing in the market.
DAYMOND, I'm wondering, I know I've heard Shake Shack is already doing this, and they're actually paying their employees for a 5-day work week, even though they're only working 4. How does that sustain as a business?
Especially in this economy.
The high touch businesses, very challenging. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. But listen, Shake Shack's doing really well. They somehow are figuring that out. Listen, you can't be, I don't want to assume, but I don't think you could be a teacher on a 4-day work week. I don't assume you can work at TMZ on a 4-day work week, but I'm saying.
But DAYMOND, the reason I'm saying it is that I always thought that 4-day work weeks were a function of a lot of people, moving to suburbs where they have long commutes, in some cases, like in LA, 2-hour commutes each way. And that it is just a way of kind of cushioning that blow, given that people moved out of the city. But now you don't have any commute. And on top of that, you've got businesses that are really struggling.
But you're really seeing it because of the virtual community. You're seeing that you can monitor a person's performance due to software now, even though they are not physically in your space. You're seeing that even though we're seeing the devastation of especially retail, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it in brick and mortar stores. We're seeing the retail challenges. But if I'm paying $8,500 a month for an office and I no longer have to pay that and everybody's virtual, well, you know what? Over 10 years, that's $1 million. And if I had invested that, potentially that can be, after compounding interest, that could be up to $2.5 million that I will net over the course of that time. So I want people to feel rewarded. I mean, think about it. Everybody here watching, they know somebody, or there's somebody who had they had to work the day before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. And you know what? When you come back to work, you're pissed off at one person, the boss. But if you have those times off, or New Year's or anything like that, you want to run through walls for your boss because you're so excited about how that person has given those extra times to you.
I like what you said there, DAYMOND, about, people think that the goal is to get your workforce to run through a brick wall for you.
During this time.
I'm sorry. No, DAYMOND, you got to understand. I was watching Charles's face when you were saying that, and he was about to bust up. Because the reality is, look, I mean, I think that, yes, there's some gratefulness, but there's also an expectation. Well, I think the world changed before coronavirus, and that people kind of expected those days off with Christmas and New Year's and everything else.
Nah, don't be a dinosaur, man. Times are changing. If you're saving all that time on the subway or in the car daily, you're going to work hard. And you know what? Listen, at the end of the day, the good work is going to rise to the top, and the bad aren't. The people who take 4 days off, 1 day off, and they treat it like a vacation and they don't live up to their numbers or whatever the case is, they're going to be cut. I can't say that everybody's going to have a great reward for this, but you're going to get premium players. And think about it right now. Since I don't necessarily have an office right now, and I can offer people 4-day work weeks, I can have a staff from around the globe now.
But you still have an office right now, right? So you still have the overhead of an office. You haven't given that up yet, have you?
No, I gave it up.
Wow.
Big changes.
For the most part, we're seeing about 80% of the staff and team, stepping up and trying to solve problems and over delivering. And even when they're off.
I like to hear it. That's why you're a huge success. Damon, thank you so much.
Hey, Damon, one other thing. Just, we love you, but don't call me grandpa, please.
He said dinosaur. All right.
Don't be a dinosaur.
Settle down, T-Rex or Brontosaurus.
We'll see you next week, Damon. Thanks.
All right, guys.